Okay, so I have a 12 by 16 shed that is on uneven ground. So here's the front. Okay. Here's the front of that shed, and it slowly goes on uneven ground. This was probably installed about 20 years ago. And the previous owners built it. And as you can tell, the whole entire thing has shifted a little bit, and these cinder blocks have kind of sunk and started to slant to where this one is barely even supporting it on this side. Been barely even using this thing for 5 years, basically just throwing light stuff in it because I've been worried about it falling or whatever. And there's kind of a ravine back here that kind of drops off. I just was always worried about it, maybe, I guess, going loose and then traveling. And so this is kind of what's been happening, is this has been slowly separating from this concrete pad up here. And originally I thought it was sliding back, but what I believe is actually happening is after I leveled it, the back end is sitting about 1.5 inches to 2 inches low. So I think what's happened is the cinder blocks have just sunk a couple inches, which has actually caused it to, you know, do this instead of sliding away. So my attempt is, what I'm going to do is, I think what I'm going to do is grab 2 car jacks and try to make some level ground on both sides to jack it up a couple of inches. Remove the current cinder blocks that are there. And what I'd like to do is dig down here, kind of where the bottom of those cinder blocks are. And I'm going to pick up gravel, and I'm going to kind of put a nice thick gravel level base where the blocks are going. And then I'm going to reinstall the blocks and try to level it out. And I'm probably going to put the back of the shed maybe 1/2 inch higher than the front, you know, just to kind of keep it from sliding slowly back. I figure if these guys put it on dirt 20 years ago, and it's been holding, you know, technically this long without falling, that if I raise it and put a more sturdy gravel foundation there under the cinder blocks, that'll work. And the biggest thing I've been worried about is basically if I jack it up, you know, how's it gonna handle? So I have yet to figure out which side I'm gonna jack up first, but I'd like to I'm gonna go out and buy another car jack. I have one, and I'm gonna try to create a level spot over here. There's already kind of a level spot over there. And the goal is to jack up both sides kind of simultaneously to get it up a couple of inches. I'm hoping I don't have to jack it up enough. I don't want to have to detach these bolts that are bolted in to these posts that they put in years ago. They're not, as far as I can tell, they're not poured into cement. They're just dug deep into the ground, probably just for that added support. I would like to not have to unbolt those in order to level this, because I'm not sure what the shed's going to do if I unbolt those. So a little bit of trial and error. I've never done anything like this. I'm just trying to put all the different projects I have done, experience into doing this. But anyway, we'll give it a shot, and I will continue the video and update, and we'll see how it ends up. And then eventually, if I get this thing leveled out, the goal is to actually re-side, re-roof, and redo the inside of the shed. It's a good size shed, 12 by 16. So my goal is to spend about $2,000 making it very nice, opposed to tearing it down and paying close to, I've had quotes, about $30,000 to rebuild something of this size. So hoping to do it myself and save quite a bit of money. Let's get to work. Getting the gravel. Okay, so I'm all done. It took me about 5 hours probably to do all of it. Of course, I had my 7-year-old helping me. And if you have a 7-year-old, you know how that goes. Anyway, so here's the finished product. I guess I'll start on the other side. I sure am, cowboy. So here's what I did, and honestly, it all actually worked out how I hoped. I ended up spending 20 bucks on gravel. It was about 3/4 ton of 1-inch clean rock, and I spent $30 on 12-inch cinder blocks, 12-inch regular cinder blocks. 30 bucks for 8 of them. And basically, I dug down till the ground was pretty hard, and leveled it out with some clean rock, and then I put a 12-inch cinder block down on top of the gravel, and then I filled it with gravel. This is the only one where I only filled the bottom one, but on all the other ones I filled the bottom and the top one, just to give it that extra weight and kind of hold it in place a little better. But and then it's kind of impossible to get an exact measurement with your bricks unless you want to spend forever doing it. So yeah, I just used 2x6 boards mostly, or if you have some good block, like I had an extra block here, so I used that to level it. But I'll tell you what, this thing came out perfectly level. I'm very happy with it. I didn't take time to videotape me doing all the work, just because I didn't have the patience to try to figure all that out. So I mean, it's not everything's completely cleaned up yet or anything like that. I spent quite some time cleaning up, but I got this post knocked way in, and I recommend doing like a middle support down there like I did. I haven't done one on the other end yet, just because it's not as necessary, because it's closer to the ground. Over here there's more of a gap. The other side there, it's closer to the ground, so it didn't seem as necessary. But so we'll see how long this holds up. But I mean, I spent 50 bucks in material, and I did buy an extra car jack, which cost me. I went to Harbor Freight. They always have the best deals on car jacks. I wanted a second one anyway. You can even borrow one from somebody. But I had, I have a 12x16 shed, which means that weighs about roughly 2,000 pounds. I used 2 car jacks. Each one's a 3-ton car jack. It was plenty of power to lift it. And I just put one on one side and one on the other, and slowly jacked them up, and then leveled everything, and then did the work underneath. And honestly, for my first time doing it, it went honestly as good as I could have hoped for. There was no real scares as far as getting hurt or anything like that. But these posts here ended up, this one's still in contact pretty well. This one didn't come out of the ground as well, but it's basically useless anyway. So I might just cut those bolts off. I might reattach it. I don't know. I already have posts in the front of my shed all the way. I don't know if I zoom in, but I already have posts that are drilled into the front of it. So so now I get to do all the fun stuff. Now I get to go around, and I'm going to repair all the damaged wood, and then I think I'm going to either redo all the siding or just put up metal siding. This side's really bad, but I'll actually post another video of maybe a little bit of how I redo the inside and outside. But I'm going to keep track of how much I spend, but I'm guessing I'm going to be able to do this whole thing, make it look pretty good for pretty cheap compared to what I was being quoted. So I'm not that handy of a handy guy, I don't shy away from projects, but honestly, if you have, I think, just decent common sense and you know how to use tools, basic stuff, I think you can do it, or at least get a friend to help you that knows how to use it. And instead of paying someone $5-10 grand to come out here and do what I'm doing, you could probably spend a few $100 and get away with it. So I'm gonna spruce it up. I'm gonna redo the siding. I'm gonna probably put a metal roof on top. I have leftover material from the metal roof of my house, so I think I can get away with saving some money there. I'm gonna put a couple windows in, maybe like a nice little flower box on the outside of the window, and redo the siding, and we'll see how it turns out. So hopefully this helps you with your project. And if you have any questions, you can comment below, or if you think that this is going to fall apart on me and it's you have recommendations to help me out, I will by no means turn that away. So thanks a lot. You guys have a great day. Bye.